Well, here's something I never thought we would see, and that's a weather delay. You can see Ross Peterson's already, wagging his head back and forth, going, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?"
Gonna suck.
Man, so here's what the deal now. So they're telling people to leave their seats at Kinnick Stadium. With each lightning strike, which is within 8 miles, resets the clock at a 30-minute delay. So you could go 5 minutes without a lightning strike. You're like, all right, we're almost home. Boom, lightning strikes again, and you're going to reset the clock at 30 minutes.
Can it really break your heart?
Yeah.
You can go 29 minutes without a lightning strike.
Yes. But I said, should we go live on Facebook? And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, why not? I mean, what else are we going to do?
I'm sitting here with Tony right now, just hanging out. Eli's making ramen.
Making ramen? What does he have, a hot pot there? Is he using the microwave? What's he doing?
Using the microwave.
So here's what my wife did tonight for dinner? And she made a homemade squash soup that had some onions in there and some curry. She didn't pull it out of a bag. She made bread, a loaf of bread, used the yeast and the flour, and here's to top it off. She churned her own butter. She made the butter tonight, man. Made the butter. I'm just saying. That's my wife. I don't deserve her. You know that, right? You know.
I'm well aware. My wife made tacos. We've had an interesting food day. This wasn't what we came on the live to talk about, but we had the World Food Festival here in Des Moines today.
I saw. Were there like trucks too down there? Because I saw you guys took the family down there.
Few food trucks were down there, but mostly like tents. You know what I mean? Set up like you can snack your way through there, and then what they require each tent to have a $1 item.
That's a cool idea.
I think that's the way to go, man. You go down there and you snack your way around. It was awesome. So anyway, really fun food day for us today, but it's weird that Eli's wrapping it up with ramen. It's even weird, dude. Like this weather delay, Tony saw it coming. Tony said when we were in that first quarter, Tony said, hey, by the way, guys, if this storm keeps moving over to the east, they're going to get lightning just like we saw, because we had lightning in Des Moines for a long time.
Yeah,
and Tony. So all this evil, all on Tony.
So we're going to blame Tony. Scott says that the Hawks get to 30 is that a good offensive performance.
Yes.
You know what? Hey, here's the deal, Scott. If they stay at 17 right now, it's a good offensive performance.
Hold on. That was a good offensive half.
Yes.
Relative to what we've seen. You got to throw some qualifiers in there. If they don't do more in this second half, whenever we get back underway, this is not a good offensive game for a game. That was a good offensive half relative to what we've seen throughout the year so far.
Drew says the worst thing that can happen is a weather delay. An offensive momentum is that was built is gone. Maybe not. We'll see how that works out. I mean,
that'd be my fear. I mean, I think that again we're playing against a horrible team, so I think they'll be able, whenever they are able to play, I think they'll be able to get the ball moving down the field again. I do.
I'm reading something. It's weird. Somebody just put
While you're reading, I won't tell you all the details, but our buddy Drew Shipley that just wrote us that last one, he's had a good week.
Has he?
Yeah.
Brent wants to know why Jethro's didn't deliver to Omaha. I think the Uber Eats bill might have been just a little bit too much. I could be wrong. Right. And by the way, now people are getting in on it. Frank says, damn it, Tony. See, now we blame Tony for everything here, right? That's what we've done.
I'll take the blame.
He's taking the blame.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's the old Sean Roberts line. Great leaders take responsibility even when not at fault.
Levi says this game's gonna get over right around the last call. Yeah, we may just start sound off. We may go like on WHO HD 0.25 or whatever that thing is, and just do our own. Or I do have a phone line that I could hook up here, and we can just start taking phone calls now.
Tony's. I'm gonna have to talk to Tony a little bit about some of my expertise with the FCC. Okay. And I don't even want to say on this broadcast what I was just about to say. I'm editing myself.
You don't have to. It's social media, but we'd get in trouble by the big wigs.
What I was going to say is, okay, I'll say it.
Okay.
same rules don't apply once we get past 10 o'clock at night. From 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Not all night.
So take me back to your days of when you went to games on a regular basis with your buddies, right? If this would have happened, what are you guys doing? Are you going to start drinking?
It's funny, Trav, because I went and used right before we came on live here. I was thinking to myself, we'd be leaving.
You just take off.
We probably would be leaving. Now, again, when you're with a group like that, you're at the mercy of the last person, right? The group can't. You're not going to leave a soldier behind. So the group doesn't leave until the seventh guy walks up to the tailgate.
Yeah.
But I think that a conversation would be having. I think we'd be having a conversation. First of all, right now is miserable at Kinnick Stadium. The most uncomfortable, the most antiquated part of Kinnick Stadium is the corridors. When you go down to use the bathroom or you go down to get food, man, you're trying to shoot for times when nobody's down there because it's tiny, it's packed, it's crowded. And now you're talking about it's wet. Are you really excited to be there? You've seen the game. You've done your tailgate. You've had your party. It's 9 o'clock. If we leave now and there's going to be traffic, we might be home by midnight. I think that a lot of people are heading towards the car right now, Travis.
Yeah, because they know that Iowa's not going to lose this game. I mean, you can watch it go. There's no way they're going to lose it. Nevada's not going to score 17 on this Iowa defense. So now you're like, what do I do here? But the difference may be this. How many people do you think, especially maybe from Newton up to Des Moines and even farther, went ahead and got a hotel in Iowa City tonight, knowing that it was going to be a late game?
We did that one time. I don't know how often people do that, Travis. If you've got the motorhome, obviously that's an easy, right?
Yeah.
And hotels sell out in Iowa City on game day, so obviously people do that exact plan. I did it one time, and it was more of it was like 4 o'clock, and we were like, you know what? Let's just party tonight.
So check a look at this. Mike says, I don't think the game's going to restart after seeing the radar.
What do you mean, Mike?
It means we're going on at 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. and I must be lonely.
You will be lonely if it's 3 a.m. and you go on the air. You will be very lonely. Okay, so let's just kick around what Mike says there for a while.
Chad, by the way, says we would leave. We'd let Gary and Ed take us home.
Yeah,
that means listening to the radio.
That's what I think my buddies. I mean, again, I had a pretty hardcore group of buddies that we didn't leave early. We never left early. And I don't know, but I think we'd be having that conversation right now. I say we never left early, but I'm having a game go through my head one time, Travis. I could look it up. It was a non-con game. We had my best friend's bachelor party, and we were doing 3 things. We were doing a Hawkeye game Saturday morning. My buddy Josh Alton was performing at a comedy club in Milwaukee Saturday night, and then we did a game in Wrigley on Sunday. It was pouring rain. We may have left that game early to get an early jump on the road to Milwaukee. Probably did. That might be the only time.
Mike says, can't they just call the game being final?
I don't, Mike. I don't know. I want Mike. Mike seems like he's looking at the radar. Looks like he knows the rules of college football. Right now, I'm just trusting in Mike.
Let's go back to the Kyle says they're sending everybody over to Carver Hawkeye in the indoor track.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, if that is what they're doing, that's a much better plan than having everybody camp up underneath that tiny corridor at Kinnick. That'd be awful.
Oh, they could go to the field house too, right? I mean, there's some room in the field house, and it's only about a block and a half walk. It's not that far. If you're on the side across from the press box.
I am interested. I wish I'm gonna have to pull up Twitter and see what they're doing with people. I mean, I trust Kyle that they're doing that.
Yeah, and Kyle said yes, and the field house.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if Kyle is like at the game and just like watching us as he's walking to the field house, or Carver Hawkeye. Hey, everybody, look at this. Because the longer we're on, Ross, the more people start hopping on. They also, I think they're starting to think it's just like, well, if we're gonna get sound off tonight, this might be the version to go with, right?
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I'm all right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I'd rather do this until 1 o'clock than start sound off at 3.
What's the latest we've started? We've started after midnight before, haven't we? We've started after midnight before.
I mean, we've been on till there was the Iowa State game that we did the pregame and postgame. Remember that game? This was probably 7.
Yeah.
And we did. It was like a 3:30 kick, but no, this was the game that had the band gate thing. It had a weather delay, didn't it?
The band gate thing.
Yeah, where the bands started to fight and whatnot a couple years ago.
That was Iowa State, right?
Yeah,
that was
Iowa State game. But we were on real late that night.
So here's the great thing is that Ross and I have never claimed to know everything. And the truth is, because I have a social media button, if you type it in the comments, I'm probably just going to put it on the air anyway, right? Because
Dan's one of my buddies.
Because this is why we hate late games. Now, Mike says non-conference games can be canceled due to long weather delays.
I knew it. Trust in Mike. He's got all the answers.
Now people are telling me, look at the picture you sent me on Twitter. Okay, so I'm gonna look at a picture on Twitter.
That's all right.
Kyle also says they won't go home. Nobody's going home.
Man, if this goes a bit, people will. People will take off.
Moly. So I'm going to put this up to the camera, okay?
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to look.
Okay.
But it's social media. Do we really care how I mean, most things on social media look like crap anyway.
Can you make it so that the camera is all you?
Yeah, I can do that. Hold on.
What is that, a UFO? Did I just see a UFO above Kinnick Stadium? That's what it looked like in my screen.
See that big? That's a big flash of lightning.
Oh.
And that's really kind of what it looks like. It's being a little, but that's a big crack of lightning, dude.
That's a great picture.
It is. It really is. So,
Yeah, very cool. All right.
Yeah.
What's your analysis so far? I mean, obviously nothing in that second half that we can take away from.
Yeah, the absolutely zero in the second half you can take away. And it's I think the first half, did it go as good as Iowa could have hoped for? No, but it wasn't bad. I think it just gave people a sense of relief that they moved the football on the ground. They're able to, get a touchdown pass. Just a sense of relief that something good happened. It needed something good to happen.
Yep, had offense move the ball on the ground and those big passes up top, Travis. That's the thing I took away from that first half that I liked the most, was the fact that they were trying to move the ball down the field. Tony's over here just producing his ass off. Okay?
Is that right? What's he doing? Is he getting the rule book for us?
Nope. But he just spun around his computer so I could see.
Okay.
So that now I can watch the Miami game. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
He spun it around for the KCRG tweet here. The 8-mile circle around Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, where tens of thousands of fans were in the stands to watch a football game, could see additional lightning strikes through 9:15.
Well, hold on. You know what I'm going to do? Because it's 8:57 right now, so that wouldn't get the game started.
That's in Omaha.
What do you mean that's in Omaha? It's the same time zone, you moron. So here's what I'm going to do because I can, right? And we have fancy tools and things like that. At least I hope I did, because it looks like my thing is frozen. But hold on real quick, because I'm gonna pull like an Ed Wilson. Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, because
what's pulling an Ed Wilson?
I'm going to just hold on. You'll see. Just bear with me
now, because I like Ed Wilson. So whatever you're up to, I'm gonna love it.
You know what?
Whoa!
Look at that. We've got. Hold on. Let me move that. Get rid of that. There's the radar, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on the Joe Rogan podcast.
You see this? You see this little band of showers starting right here? I mean, it's like the hard stuff really haven't hit Iowa City yet. You've got a little line of red here. That usually means some bad stuff.
We just got that there in the Des Moines area.
Yeah. But you can, kids, look at the Des Moines area, and that's really, really bad right there.
You'll notice a hook echo from the Ottumwa down to Bloomfield areas.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Now's the time to take cover, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna, could be no reports of small hail yet, but
in your time in television training, did you ever have to do the green screen thing?
Yeah,
dude, I've done that just like at the Science Center. They've got the little thing you can go down there and fake it and pretend that you're Amber Alexander or Ed Wilson or Megan.
Well, see, Amber Alexander's not in the business anymore. She's
pretend that you're Brett McIntyre.
She's a barmaid down at a brewery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for her.
I think she got a pay raise. She went to be a bartender and made more money than she was on television.
Welcome to broadcasting. Dude, when I go over there, I'm always the guy that's like, I'm always doing it wrong. It's like, hey, point to the WHO sign, and it's like, I can't do it. Why is my finger going? Oh, there.
It's because you're reversed, right? I mean, it's like you're backwards.
My brain will not. I never trained on it enough, or whatever. My brain can't do it. When I'm in front of that screen, I'm always, I just did it.
Look at you. Look at that. Look, you're pointing right at the owl. Look at you. You are a natural born weatherman.
Where's the hook echo, Ross?
Well, hold on. I can bring it back up. I want you. Oh, you don't have the green screen though. So, sorry.
But I'm pointing at it.
You were definitely pointing at it. See, this is what
running game looks great. That's fun.
Caleb Johnson has impressed me.
That touchdown was awesome.
And I might think that Caleb Johnson might be the best running back that Iowa has right now. I know I just like the way he looked. There's something different about him. A little burst of speed.
I think the fair thing to say is Gavin Williams looked really good in a couple of his runs also. Okay. Now I'm with you. Caleb Johnson and that touchdown run, that's by far the most impressive run we've seen from a Hawkeye running back. I mean, Goodson had some really nice runs. That might go up there with some of the best runs we saw last year.
Yeah.
So I like that. I do think that Gavin Williams has shown that when he's healthy, he can push a pile, and that's a big part of the Hawkeye running game. I love the fact that it feels like a three-headed monster now, too, because LaShawn Williams is a good running back, too.
Let's take a look at some of the other scores in the Big Ten, and I don't know if you guys can see these very well or not, but Ohio State on top of Toledo with just starting the fourth quarter, 56-21. This game right here is kind of a surprise. It really, really is. Michigan State ranked 11th in the country out in Seattle tonight. That game's on ABC about midway through the third, 36-14, Washington on top of Michigan State. Iowa in a weather delay, as you see, 17-0 over Nevada. Maryland and SMU tied up at 20, Ross. I knew that was going to be a good game. Pony Express is back. They're doing good things down there, and I'm not sold on Maryland. I know some people are hyped on Maryland. I'm not. Michigan all over UConn today, 59-0. Look at Oklahoma, what they did in Nebraska. Nebraska scored the first touchdown of the game, gave up 49 unanswered after that. Penn State rolls Auburn by a score of 41-12. You can expect a coaching change, I think, at the end of the year with Auburn. They tried to get him out last year after year one. How about Southern Illinois out of the Missouri Valley Conference beating Northwestern 31-24? Northwestern, after opening the season with a win against Nebraska in Dublin, has lost 2 straight games. Purdue drops a game to Syracuse. Indiana needs a late score to beat who are they playing? Western Kentucky. Rutgers ekes by Temple 16-14. Minnesota blows out Colorado. Colorado's horrible. And Wisconsin puts up 66 today. Any of those scores kind of surprise you a little bit?
No, I did see the in the Purdue game, Charlie Jones had another nice game, 100+ yards and another touchdown. So good for him. I'm happy for him, and I hope that that leads to him being a Sunday.
11 catches, 188 yards.
Putting up right now numbers that get you drafted.
Absolutely get you drafted. What'd you think of the quote they had about him going to Purdue when they said, "Yeah, we saw plenty of film with the recruiting, but we didn't have anything to go off of from a receiving standpoint," which is true.
It's very true. I mean, Travis, we talked about it on the Sound Off last week. He had as many catches through 2 games with Purdue as he'd had the entire season last year with the Hawkeyes. So good on them to however that worked, whether it's Charlie Jones looking for an opportunity where he's going to get more receptions, or if it's Purdue recruiting him and reaching out. Again, I don't even care about that stuff. I really don't. I'm happy for the young man that he's out there getting a great opportunity and making the most of it.
And everybody could point towards that. But let's not forget Iowa won the Big Ten West last year. Yeah, I mean, that we have to go back and go, oh, Iowa did play the Big Ten championship game.
And if Charlie were out there, he would have been a great asset those first couple of games when we were missing Reganey and Keegan.
Yes.
That the first half just showed with the amount of times they threw to Brody Breck, the Keegan Johnson involvement, the Nico Reganey, that the plan was going to be to get Keegan Johnson the ball, to make Nico Reganey a bigger part of the offense.
All right, so we are in a weather delay. We don't know when Sound Off is going to start. If they cancel the game, which they could, I don't know if they will. And we should probably call our bosses and say what's the cutoff time. But I have no time. I have no problem staying up late. I don't want to go on the air at like 1 a.m. I'd like to be finishing up at 1 a.m. But who knows how this whole thing all ends. But we are in a weather delay in Iowa City. We're going to stick around, and who knows if it goes another, we may come back on here. I may set up the phone lines. We'll start taking phone calls here if we have to.
The phone is ringing here. The phone is ringing here, and I'm almost certain it's somebody that wants to be a part of Sound Off.
But Sound Off hasn't started yet. Yeah, go ahead and answer it. See if we're doing this live on the air. See, this is
WHO. This is Ross.
Shh.
Yeah, it's a little bit early to get online for Sound Off. What's your name? Mike, what's up, buddy? Great to hear from you, man. It's our buddy Mike. Buddy Mike.
Oh, okay.
How you been, man? Hey, we're actually doing our Facebook Live right now. We figured that it was somebody calling in for Sound Off. So
this is the wonderful thing about social media. Look, Drew wants to know if it was Tom from North Liberty.
No, we're going to be on late. Right now the plan is to be on till 1 o'clock, but we're going to call our bosses and see what they want us to do if the game gets canceled. So, all right, Mike, I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Bye-bye.
This is the beautiful thing.
Mike is firing up his Facebook feed right now so he can join the Sound Off that he just.
You guys are live on Sound Off. Yes.
Yeah, that was our buddy Mike. That was Mike. Mike, our friend.
Mike's a good dude. There's everybody that listens to Sound Off is a good dude, right? Or a good person.
Members of the family, man. Members of the club.
Yeah. See, everybody thought we had some guesses. It was going to be Tom in North Liberty. Helix, was it Derek from New Sharon?
Was not Derek from New Sharon. No.
He hadn't called the Morning Rush, by the way, lately. I thought he would be. I thought he would transition from.
I don't think he's a morning guy. It's something with his shift. I think he's working during the morning show.
Everybody was guessing. Anthony and Go Hawks.
Dan, dude, we might have lost Anthony. If you didn't listen to Sound Off last week,
yeah,
Anthony called in with the fire Ference call. Anthony.
Angela says, where's your food? Well, because it was late, we decided to pass on the Jethros tonight. And my wife actually made a squash soup with curry in it, homemade bread and homemade butter. Yes, she churned her own butter. We're like the Amish is in the Justice household. We're like the Amish. She churned butter.
Here's your Jethro's plug. Okay, my son is a wing connoisseur. Loves him some wings.
Yeah,
Jethro's wings, hands down the best wings. He claims that. We had a wing today. We had a little wing down at the World Food Fair. It was delicious. And Eli said, "Dad, that tastes like Jethro's."
Wow. So that's like the best compliment ever.
Yeah.
You know what I was craving last night? And I haven't had them for a while. And I think I'm going to get them next week or the week after because we got a night game again next week. Is that I'm craving burnt ends.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Kyle does say, Ross,
half rack ribs.
They're racing at Bristol if you need something to pass the time by.
Thanks, Kyle.
And I can tell Ross get a little antsy. He's like, okay, we've been going for 25 minutes now.
Good, dude. No, I'm good. We can do this.
How long we gonna do this, Justice?
No, I'm seriously. I'm totally good doing this for as long as you want to do it because we're literally just sitting here. I mean,
I'm like, I know, it's because here's the deal. My wife's like, I think sleeping already, and if we shut off, I'll like have nobody to talk to.
Well, then yeah, I don't want you to be lonely, Trav.
It's so good that you care for me, man. It really, really, really is.
I am interested to hear what Gary and Ed are talking about, and I think that we probably have to be careful with some licensing stuff about playing that. On
we do actually. So
they're doing some interview right now. I don't know who they were talking to there, but I heard a female's voice. So they're doing. We're not missing much right now, but I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on that. Fact, I think is Tony. Did Tim leave? Yeah. Okay.
So, the Iowa will win tonight, go to 2-1. Next week at Rutgers, then at home against Michigan, then to Illinois and to Ohio State. Listen, I'd like to say that I feel confident they're going to beat Rutgers at Rutgers. I'm not. They're not going to beat Michigan.
No,
they're not. I don't mean to be a pessimist. I just don't think they have the talent to compete with Michigan. And then at Illinois, at Ohio State, that's a brutal way to start this league. It really is. You got 3 of your first 4 conference games on the road.
You asked me about those Big Ten games and you're putting them up. The one that I'm most intrigued in right today was Rutgers to see how good that team is. I have no confidence right now going into next week against Rutgers. I'll have zero confidence going in against Michigan. That is a game that I will expect to be one of those rock fights, a really low-scoring game. Rutgers, I have no idea next week, Trav. You're going on the road.
Yeah.
We've only seen one half and a few plays of offense with Nico Reganey and Keegan Johnson back out there. So I'm going to hold up a little bit of judgment. I'll have zero confidence. Hope that they go into Rutgers and take care of business.
That's going to be one of those games where, you know what, I have zero expectations. Not only like zero confidence, but zero expectations.
Yeah.
And that way, if they stink it up, I don't feel too bad.
I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, it's not going to ruin my night. I'm going to get through it okay. But you're right. Michigan or Rutgers with a 2-point win today. I think that was against Temple. I know it's Temple, but Iowa almost didn't, beat South Dakota State. And with this offense,
Iowa has the worst offense in all of college football. And they played 2 bad defenses.
Yeah. Brutal, just absolutely brutal. Then you're right. The Michigan game. I mean, Michigan's good. I mean, let's just accept the fact that Michigan's good.
Yeah, Michigan's going to be a problem, man. Ohio State's going to be a problem. All of those other games you talk about, Trav, I don't know what to think about. Even Illinois. Do I think the Hawkeyes going to beat Illinois? Yeah. If you made me put a number on it right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. They're not beating Ohio State. They're not winning at Ohio State.
24-10, something like that. They're not going to beat Ohio State.
They'll beat Northwestern.
Yeah, right now this team beats the Northwestern that we've seen the last couple of weeks. This team beats Nebraska.
Yeah.
This team beats the Nebraska team we've seen. Everybody.
I would agree with that. I'm anxious to see what Mickey Joseph can do. There's a transition that's going to take place there. And
how about Minnesota?
No, I don't think they beat Minnesota. I don't think do they win at Purdue?
Not right now.
No. And we're only saying this because the offense is so bad. Right? I mean, if the offense had a little bit, and listen, I know they're looking better tonight, but does it make you feel good going against Big Ten competition? Because Nevada sure as hell is not a Big Ten football team.
Doesn't make me feel good. Make me feel better. Yeah. Do I feel better right now than I did at the beginning of the night? Yeah, that first half made me feel a little bit better. what was the word the guy used earlier? It was magnificent first half.
The weird thing is, I was going to go to 2-1 after tonight. I'm going to read the schedule to you again. Rutgers, at Rutgers, home against Michigan, at Illinois, at Ohio State, home against Northwestern, at Purdue, Wisconsin at home, at Minnesota, against Nebraska. How many guaranteed wins are out of that?
I just did 6.
Guaranteed wins?
No, guaranteed wins?
Yes. Well, you said no way, can't lose.
Yeah, it's 0. I'd like to think Illinois is a guaranteed win. It's not right
Same with
now.
I'd like to think Northwestern would be too.
I'd like to think Nebraska would be.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They're beating Nebraska.
The way Nebraska played today, yes.
The way Nebraska's played the last several years.
Now, the difference would be you might have a coach that actually shows up for practice now.
Dude, I didn't know things were that bad around Lincoln. Like he was like making promises, not showing up for charity stuff. I mean, what the heck?
He didn't show up for practice.
Well,
yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. But that's why I'm saying you get a little more structure, a little more routine, but that defense was brutal. Now, to be fair, Oklahoma looked really good today.
That's you got to always think about that competition.
Yeah.
Man, you know, when they were losing to Georgia State, you also have to consider the competition in those moments too, right? But when they lose to Oklahoma, yeah, you can look at that and go, man, giving up, what was it? What did you say, 49 straight?
Nebraska scored. It's the first touchdown of the game. They gave it 49 unanswered after that.
I mean, again, I'm not giving excuses or saying that it's like a common thing, but that can happen against a team like Oklahoma. That stuff can happen.
Yes, it can happen again, and that's why it can happen against a team like Michigan. It can definitely happen when you go to Ohio State, right?
Yep.
All I'm saying is, I can look at that schedule right now and go, yeah, I'm not feeling great about any one of those games.
Does that defense, is the Hawkeye defense, is it good enough for you to at least, when you hear those, when you go through that schedule, Travis, you put wins on the board, right?
I put a win at Rutgers. I'll put a win at Illinois, a win against Northwestern, and I'll put a win against Nebraska. I don't think they win at Minnesota. I don't think they beat Wisconsin. I don't think they win at Purdue. They're sure as hell not winning at Ohio State. And they're not going to beat Michigan at home.
You did the same thing I did. I was doing hopes. You were doing guarantees. I was doing hopes.
Yeah. I mean, but it could go south quick. It really could. I mean, I'm talking about a possibility of no bowl game. I don't think that would be, and that's what Dan wants to know. He goes, "What's the over under for 6?" So the over under is 6. Yeah, I think it is. If they get to 7 wins, I think that's a pretty darn good season, Ross. I really do. That's setting the bar really low, by the way.
Yeah, very low. Oh man, I'm trying to pick up on some stuff on Twitter just to see
on the delay.
Yeah. Haven't heard anything about the delay. Haven't heard anything about people moving around the stadium because I would imagine they have to keep people out of the stadium for the majority of that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Crowd is dispersed.
Tony's on it. Mike Halas says crowd is dispersed from Kinnick Stadium. Rain's falling hard. And this game isn't restarting for a long time. And then he writes, "What the hell? Let's party." Halas is listening to Sound Off. Woo! Let's go!
Holy crap. Look at this. Barbara says, had the Sound Off from Jethro's last night, bought 4 of them for leftovers. there were no leftovers. You bought 4 of them. 4 of them.
It's a
Barbara?
delicious sandwich. It's a Barbara. Thank you. It's a fantastic sandwich.
Really is.
Travis's own creation.
Well, I just took a basic idea and just switched the meat out. Right? I mean,
you were oh man, those are amazing pictures. Yeah. You were the genesis of that though. Last year, you were like, you called 3 years ago. Is that seriously that long ago?
Yeah.
I'm old, man. Eli just reminded me.
See, now Dan wants to know, is the sound off a Cuban? Oh no. It's a takeoff of a Reuben sandwich, right? So Utah, give me. I don't know what I'm doing now. It's a takeoff of the Reuben. So instead of the corned beef, we've switched it with the brisket. Okay, but still use the sauerkraut, still use the Thousand Island dressing, and I think there might be some bacon on there too.
Travis, do you know what the Utah Give Me Two is?
No, no. Did I screw up there? Is that why I had you laughing?
No, haven't you ever seen? Oh man, it's Keanu Reeves. He's the cop. He played quarterback. Point Break.
No, Point Break is with him and Patrick Swayze. You're talking about the replacements, aren't you?
No. In Point Break, he's a cop who was recruited to be a quarterback. And who's his partner when he's a cop? Is it Nick Nolte or Gary Busey? It's one of those two dudes.
In Point Break?
I'm almost certain.
I thought
when you put that thing up there and it said Utah Give Me Two, it pulled on one of those memory cabinets in my head. And I'm like,
it's Gary Busey. It was Gary Busey. So you had Keanu Reeves in there. Patrick Swayze, God rest his soul.
Wait,
Lori Petty was in there.
You said God rest whose soul?
Patrick Swayze.
Oh, I thought you said Keanu Reeves. I'm like, we lost Keanu?
No, we lost Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I knew that. Yep.
Lori Petty was in this. Gary Busey was the FBI agent.
So if you Google Utah Give Me Two.
Okay, hold on. I'll do that.
I think that's a line that Gary Busey hollers at Keanu Reeves. And that's what what the guy was referring to was the sound off sandwich.
Ah.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. I think I'm guessing right though. I don't know.
Okay, so Utah, give me two. When one meatball sandwich isn't enough, inspired the line from the Papas to Johnny, Utah in Point Break. Damn. You are one smart dude.
I know it you see that stuff and like, it rings a bell. There's a bell in there. But yeah, and I think if in Point Break,
should I watch Point Break? I mean, I think I've only seen it once.
Yeah, because you just rang a bell though, because the replacements, Keanu Reeves is a quarterback in the replacements.
How about that? I get to replay. Well, you said Keanu Reeves quarterback. I'm like, well, that's the replacements where Gene Hackman played a really bad football coach.
I always thought that movie sucked.
It did suck. Okay. The whole movie sucked.
But I feel like nowadays it kind of has this little resurgence. People talk about it like it doesn't suck as bad as it sucks.
No, it sucked. It sucked. It was not good.
I wonder how many movies Keanu Reeves has had where a character that was an athlete.
Ross is the high master of useless information.
It's a very good. Yeah, I am.
Mike says that movie was awesome. No, Mike, The Replacements was not awesome.
No, The Replacements sucked. Point Break's a great movie.
You know what other movie wasn't good? Any Given Sunday wasn't very good. Al Pacino as a football coach was not believable to me.
But it's got that speech, right? Isn't that the one where it's like, you gotta bleed for the guy next to you. You gotta kill for every inch, and the guy next to you is gonna kill for every inch.
That was Michael Corleone giving me a speech about football.
Is that's that movie?
If you hold on. Hold on. You're telling me you're a grown man.
I didn't say anything.
You're telling me what I hear you saying is You're a grown man and you've never seen The Godfather.
Oh, I've seen The Godfather.
Okay.
I've never seen Any Given Sunday.
Okay. God, I thought for sure you were telling me you hadn't seen The Godfather. And I was gonna
Seen all the
panic.
Godfathers. Seen all the Godfathers, know them well. No, I've never seen Any Given Sunday.
That's fine. You're not missing much. You're really not.
Jamie Foxx in that.
Who?
Jamie Foxx.
Well, hold on.
One where he plays he plays a quarterback in a movie.
Al Pacino. No, Jamie Foxx. He played Willie Beeman. Okay. Willie Beeman. Cameron Diaz is in there. Dennis Quaid, I believe, is the quarterback. James Woods, back when they still let him act because he was a conservative.
I just got a text, Tony. Go check and see what's on the air for us real quick.
Is it last week's show?
Are you hearing this also?
Yeah, some people have been texting it. Yeah, I didn't put it on the. Are they putting sound out from last week?
What?
They're better off watching it on the social media channel.
Put us on live now.
Yeah, why don't we go on live now? What are we doing here? We're on social media with 43 viewers at this point, and we could be on the radio talking to thousands.
I just got a text that says TV coverage went out due to the weather. Turn on WHO. They're airing the call-in show from last week. It's Gary talking?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Gary talking.
All right. By the way, SMU is leading Maryland 27-20 right now.
Dude, you said it, man. Ponies are back, right? We're watching it. It's up in the studio right now.
What's the Big Ten's doing?
And it's still Tua's little brother at quarterback for Maryland.
Yeah.
Too. Yep.
Huh.
He's had a good game. 14 of 18, 183 and a touchdown.
But they're losing.
I want to be able to get lightning updates around Kinnick Stadium. Is there any way that we can do that? Tony, do you know there's a way to?
I mean, I've got Twitter refresh of Kinnick Stadium and a refresh of weather delay.
Tony's on it.
And refreshing Iowa Hawkeyes Twitter.
He's killing it, this kid. Whoa.
See, this is the way, when those weather geeks interrupt television, this is the way it should be. They don't need to point at maps. They can just say, here's a little bit of weather, have a little movie discussion. Do a little more weather, do another movie discussion, go into some music.
I was just going to say, we're probably going to stumble into music here sooner or later.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze thing.
Yeah. Were you a Patrick Swayze fan?
Sure. I mean,
you just ask a question by saying sure.
No,
sure?
I didn't. I answered it, just not confidently.
Why didn't you like Patrick Swayze?
I just said I did.
Yeah, but it wasn't a believable sure.
So what you're supposed to say is, why didn't you love Patrick Swayze? Because obviously you didn't love him, or you would have said, of course I liked Patrick Swayze. Who doesn't like Patrick Swayze? He was okay. He was an actor. I can name a couple movies he was in. He was in Ghost.
Yeah.
He was in Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
He was in Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Another one I've never seen is the one he was in one with a bunch of other dudes. The Outsiders.
The Outsiders. You've never seen The Outsiders? Dude, I gotta even bring up that cast for you because
it's an amazing cast.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
How come you've never seen it?
Ran out of time?
No. Ran out of time. I mean, Tom Cruise was in there.
So, when he went to go be on Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Jennifer Grey didn't like him because she'd been in that movie with him and said he was a jerk.
I like Jennifer Grey. I like Jennifer Grey before the nose job, though.
Yeah. I think that's most people.
Yeah.
Still like Jennifer Grey before the nose job.
Yeah.
Saw a meme the other day about Dirty Dancing. I thought it was kind of clever.
Okay.
So of course, baby should have been put in a corner. She was running around with a 30-year-old dance instructor She was acting like a brat. Her dad was doing the responsible thing. Well, you know what? She's right.
That was Jerry Orbach before Law and Order. Her dad, remember that?
Jerry Orbach. John Mulaney does a whole entire bit involves Jerry Orbach in Law and Order. Well, good. I'm glad they're not playing last week's sound off on the air, because that would have been odd.
Wonder why somebody said that, though, right? I mean, what? Because I got it on here too, so I'm wondering if it did just like. See, here it is. Look at it. Brian. How, Ross? The Outsiders. What the hell? Do it for Johnny, man. Do it for Johnny.
Did I hear do it for Johnny? I would have thought that was a...
Diane Lane was in The Outsiders. Really? She was in Red Dawn with him. That's where Jennifer Grey was in Red Dawn with him.
That's the one where she's like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk. I don't know if I want to work with him again.
Stay gold, Ross.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Dude, that's from Outsiders. Stay gold, pony boy.
Oh, I thought he was just being nice to me. See?
No, he said stay.
Now I know how Chris Williams has felt for all these years when people make movie references to him and they just...
Stay gold, pony boy. See, Kyle says, who needs Mr. Movie? Oh, man. Well, it'll be interesting to see, what they do with this game. If you're Nevada, you're like, well, hold on now. We got to fly back yet tonight because they're on a private charter, right? And even though they're gonna make up a little time.
So we might be dealing with a minor league baseball situation here where the pilot's like, hey, somebody needs to make a decision.
Yeah.
The pilot's going to say, we're wheels up by 1:30.
I'm kind of with you on that. Say, the AD at Nevada Reno saying, hey, Gary Barta, here's the deal. You're paying us like $1.1 million to be here. The taxi didn't shut off. I mean, that's rolling. So if we don't take off by midnight, you're going to have to start tacking onto our bill or you're going to have to let us go. We're going to have to call this game because we're going to need some more money.
To fly home. I used to do this when I was a kid all the time.
Dan says, you think coaches run out of things to say? That's a good question.
I love Dan. Dan's one of my high school buddies, man. Dan, by the way, I saw your picture you put on Facebook of you and your little brother the other day. I can't even believe we used to tie little Mikey up to the stair banister, and now he's a grown man.
So you were a bully.
Dan was a bully. I was there.
Oh, is that you just watch? Look at you. I was washing your hands of it.
Dan was the bully.
Washing your hands.
Here's what I think the coaches do. I think the minute that they get in there, they tell the guys, like when you say nap time, it might be very close to that. I imagine they tell those guys, decompress right now.
Because
turn it off.
You almost have to, because you go in there thinking it's going to be a 30-minute delay, right? So you give the speeches, keep it, don't lose that momentum, stay pumped up, get on a bike, do something. But now you're like, well, hell.
See, I think you walk in with that. I think you walk in, Travis, and you tell everybody, don't get on a bike. Don't settle down.
Really?
Down. Yeah, because I think you had to have known right away that this was going to be longer than a half hour.
Okay.
But, man, also shutting it down and trying to turn it back on is scary, and you can hurt yourself that way too.
Helix says, does Travis ever run out of things to say?
No, never has Helix ever. This is why Travis and I have threatened to do 24 hours of Ross and Travis for a long time, and it could absolutely happen. I've joked with people about this, like you could give Travis and I any topic and give us about 30 seconds to prepare for it, and we will have some sort of dumb, fun conversation about it.
Somebody do that right now. Throw out a topic right now. Throw out a topic right now, and we'll try to talk about it. I don't know what it's going to be.
An artist, a movie,
yeah,
actor.
Yeah.
A historical event.
Just throw something out, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Trying to think what we're because most of the time during the games we're pretty quiet. We're both watching the game. I was cutting up highlights. I've got about 10 highlights cut up for us today. So we didn't burn a lot of fuel during the game today.
So Scott says types of cheese. So I'm going to be honest with you, Scott. It took me a long time and this is where age comes in. When I was a young cat, I despised blue cheese, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stinky cheese was just not my sort of thing. And now I have grown into, I don't even like the creamy blue cheese. I like really, really, really blue cheese on top of my salad just with olive oil. But I really had a greater appreciation for cheese when I moved to Wisconsin back in 1993.
That'll do it.
Just because of the cheese that takes place, and I became a big fan of Havarti. Havarti is just, I believe it or not, I don't like Swiss. Swiss is just nasty cheese to me. I don't like it, never have.
Agreed.
But the Havarti, a good provolone, there's just so many different tastes when it comes to the cheese. So, yeah, I mean, but to me, my favorite right now is the blue cheese. Is there any cheese you don't like? Because I don't like the Swiss. I think Swiss is nasty.
Yep, I don't like Swiss cheese. I don't like goat cheese. I don't like soft cheeses. I like
Really? So you don't like a brie?
Nope.
So how come you don't like a brie? I mean, a brie is kind of like it's good for a charcuterie board.
I think it's a texture thing for me.
Kyle says he's a huge Gouda fan. Gouda is great in a beer cheese soup. You mix that down and you got a really good Gouda.
Kyle literally stole my thunder. Gouda is the cheese because for us, it was when the cheese shop came to Des Moines, Iowa. When the cheese shop came to town, all of a sudden you could get really, really good cheese. And I mean, like, remember when I had Sean Roberts here and I like taught him how to eat cheese?
Yes.
Like take a little slice of it, put it in your mouth, let it melt in your mouth. You'll feel the crystals on your tongue. Like that's how you really enjoy cheese. Yeah, that's I love it. And I'm with you, Travis. When I was a kid, blue cheese was disgusting. I love blue cheese now, and I could do a blue cheese burger, and my mouth's watering thinking about it.
Kevin says not a big fan when someone cuts the cheese. Well, Ross cuts the cheese a lot.
Awful, Kevin. I mean, like I fart a dozen times a day, and I mean like audible, embarrassing, loud, stinky, a dozen. I have to go away. I have to leave the room I'm in. Sometimes I'm in a meeting. I'm showing a house, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm going to go look and see if there's siding on the back of the garage.
Dustin, out of nowhere, says, I want to hear about Travis's time in Minden.
Oh. Do you really want to hear? There's an old phrase for this. It says, you don't want that smoke. Trust me, you don't have a flat enough couch for Travis to tell you about his time in Minden, okay?
Listen, Minden, Iowa is pretty unique, right? I mean, when I lived in Minden, Iowa, it was a town of about 485 people. At that time, 2 bars, grocery store, drugstore, meat market, hardware store, and a hotel. Sorry, a motel.
That's a lot for a town of 400.
It was.
That's a lot. That's thriving for a town that big.
When I got married.
Did you get the honeymoon suite at the motel?
No, but I made the whole wedding party stay there. And John Walters, voice of the Cyclones, was part of that wedding party. I think they all checked in and went, yeah. I think is there anything else close? No, not really.
Nope.
You can go to Harlan. I guess you could have gone to Harlan.
That's awesome. Next time we have John on, we have to ask him about the hotel he stayed at for your wedding.
I can't. Yeah. But Minden wasn't bad. It wasn't. I probably hold a lot more resentment now. I don't know why. Well, when they gouge your face out at your high school. Yeah. Hold on. Dustin's coming in and said they still have the motel, pharmacy, grocery store, and bowling alley. Oh, they have the bowling alley too. I forgot about the bowling alley. And Ross, they still have a community center where I believe they still do big band music. So the old people still get together and do the big band music. The orchestras still come in.
Get the old Pennsylvania 65000 fired up.
Cody says, hey, can Lightning end up? See, I told you, throw us a subject and we'll talk about it. We went through cheese. We've gone through Minden, Iowa so far, which, by the way, if you're wondering where Minden, Iowa is, it's in western Iowa, about 35, 40 miles away from Omaha. Can Lightning end up canceling a game, or is there a possibility of resuming it at midnight or something? No, we heard with non-con games, they can get canceled. So let's see. Just looking for another subject to throw up there. Anybody gave us more subjects. People are pretty passionate about their cheese. Just saying.
Love cheese. Love good cheese.
Oh, you know what? Somebody's asked if I watched Ted Lasso yet. I have not watched Ted Lasso because I don't want to go down the streaming hell. And what I mean by that is I cut the cord for a reason, right? I cut the cord to save money. If I keep adding just a streaming channel just so I can watch a show, I'm going to be spending a hell of a lot more money than I ever did having cable. So I've Apple TV does not have enough consistently good shows for me to justify getting Apple Television. I got it on a free trial basis when it did the one with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. And I only did that for a season. I haven't seen the remaining seasons of it. And everybody says Ted Lasso is awesome. Jason Sudeikis is hilarious in my book. But it's just, I don't want to spend another $5-10, whatever it is.
Yep, I'm absolutely with you, Travis. I did the free trial and I watched several episodes of Ted Lasso. I loved them. I can see why people really like that show. The one that I loved more, though, was called Mythic Quest. It had Rob McElhenney, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's the guy that owns the professional soccer club in Wales with Ryan Reynolds. Is any of this ringing a bell at all?
No, nothing.
So now there's a thing on at Netflix, on Hulu rather, that's called Welcome to Wrexham,
something like that.
and it's about he and Ryan Reynolds buying this this Welsh football club, and that's been really fun too. I'm a big fan of Rob McElhenney.
See, here's the problem with new media, right? What we're dealing with, right? I mean, look at this right now. We've been on for 58 minutes.
It doesn't seem like it.
We've been on for 58 minutes. Hopefully you guys are entertained by our juvenile conversations and just getting back to football and then real life and some other stuff. But when it comes to, you look at the way music is produced now and the avenues to get music and the different ways to get video content. I mean, I almost like it better when there's 3 networks because I knew I was going to be able to get it. Now it's like it's all for a niche. I mean, there's so much stuff out there to consume that I used to think that a la carte was really the way to go, but I'm starting to, I don't know if I like the a la carte.
Yeah, Travis, I still think a la carte's the way to go. But you're right that when everything is divided up the way it is right now and owned the way it is, instead of where I think things are going to end up, which is individual control. Once that happens, then we'll be in that kind of perfect a la carte world. We're not really in a la carte right now.
I mean, a la carte to me is the old pay-per-view, right? I mean, to me, that's a la carte.
Right. I mean, we're much closer to a la carte now than we were before.
True.
But you can't just go buy Ted Lasso. That would be true a la carte, right? You have to go buy the platform that Ted Lasso is owned and streamed under.
True.
Same thing with all of these other shows and stuff that we can, we could do this with HBO. We could do this with Prime, which honestly, this is one of the reasons Prime what has set Prime apart is that entire Amazon business model, that it's so much more than just television viewing. So most people that I know have Prime. So watching the game the other night was a simple, easy process to flip on your Prime. It was right there, button. I'm watching the game.
And see, now the Apple phone users coming in on it because Mike says they pay $20 for the Apple TV, Apple Music, and added iCloud for the family to share. Well, I'm a Google guy. So I have the YouTube TV that I share with my family. I have the YouTube Music that I share with my family. And I have the Drive, the Google Drive that I share with my family. So even though I'm the only Google Android guy in the house, well, I tend to I play dictator here.
Oh, fans are being allowed back in.
Oh my goodness.
Players are in the tunnel areas. We're waiting for clearance to return to the field.
How long does it take you to get back and I mean, do you have to like restretch? Does it take 15 minutes? But think about that.
That's great news. Great.
It is. And remember, that's about right, Ross. Remember we said the last lightning strike.
Uh-oh. What happened here?
I don't know what happened.
Oh, I was trying to get somebody was trying to call me.
Oh, was that the bing?
Yeah, my computer wanted me to know that people were calling me.
Okay, so here's the deal. When we heard Gary or somebody say that the last lightning strike they thought would be about 9:15. Look what time it is. It's 9:44. That would be about a half hour from when they said.
Perfect. Weather delay is over. Fans are returning to their seats. 12 minutes put back on the clock to warm up.
So we're not going on until about midnight, by the way. Just to let you know.
Here's my bigger fear, Travis. This might not be our last delay.
That's a possibility.
They could get everybody back in the stadium. This is what happened with Iowa State a couple years ago. They can get everybody back in the stadium. There can be another lightning strike. They've got to clear everybody out again and start that 30-minute clock over again. So not hoping for that. And again, Tony didn't say it, so it's probably not going to happen. As soon as Tony starts talking about lightning, going to be problems, folks.
All right. So 12 minutes. They're going to put back on the clock. Be back on News Radio 1040 WHO. Also on WHOradio.com.
Good deal.
So we're gonna stop now.
Okay.
And then
I'm gonna fire up Gary and Ed, see what's going on with them. If we get another delay, let's do this again, because that did not seem like an hour and 3 minutes.
It's crazy with no commercials too. Can you believe that? I mean, like 0 commercials. Pretty soon they're gonna go, hey, if you guys are gonna go an hour, we can sell ads during these.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can pay us more. So it's the Jethro's
one of those two things is going to happen.
That's true. That's so true. The Jethro's barbecue sound off coming up after the game. Hope you've enjoyed our weather delay conversation to keep you somewhat entertained until the game kicks back off, which will happen in 12 minutes. He's Ross Peterson. I'm Travis Justice. We'll see you after the game. We will most definitely be talking about a Hawkeye win. See you then.